Facing a recent spike in gun violence here in the United States, the Justice Department is launching a series of strike forces across 5 major American cities. The goal is to crack down on the illegal pipeline of guns flowing into urban areas, partly by targeting what are called straw buyers, people who purchase firearms legally only to turn around and provide them to people who shouldn't have them. Joining us now is Cedric Alexander, former member of President Obama's Task Force on 21st Century Policing, a former public safety director for DeKalb County, Georgia, as well as an MSNBC law enforcement analyst. And Sam Stein is back here with us. Cedric, we should say, first of all, any action taken at this point that's intended to reduce violent crime should be commended, and we should try to get behind it. Straw buyers are notoriously slippery to prosecute, as you know. So is this a good thing, what the Justice Department is looking to do? What is your read on something like this? As the Associated Press has put it, violent crimes, particularly homicides and shootings, are up in many cities around the country. And the Biden administration has sought to aid communities hamstrung by violence. But the initiative launched this week differs from other recent federal efforts to address violence because it is not sending agents or prosecutors into cities with crime spikes. Justice officials say the strike forces are targeted prosecutions meant to be a longer-term effort to combat gun trafficking. Last week, you asked on this network, what are we doing in the here and now? You called this a crisis. Do you think this move from the Justice Department is adequate for the here and now?
Well, let me be clear about one thing, Michael. We currently are in a crisis, particularly in many of our cities across this country as it relates to violence. And I think you would agree as well, too, that we have to do something in anything that's being done right now, particularly help that is coming from the DOJ and the head of DOJ, the AG himself. So I think this effort, this initiative is going to be meaningful to many cities across this country. But in addition to that, it allows for some opportunities, not just for joint law enforcement cooperation. That's something that they have been doing. But they're being very specific here around these straw gun purchases. So I think it's a very clever thing to do in this very moment, because in this very moment that we're in, the here and the now, this is something that we'll certainly help address those urgent issues in cities like Chicago and others across this country that is in such pain with this violent crime.
So, Cedric, the here and now for this topic of crime is nuanced. We know murders, rose about 25% between 2019 and 2020. And early data for this year suggests that spike is continuing. But contextually, the long-run violent crime is actually down. In 1991, for example, the FBI and New York Times report there were 9.8 murders per 100,000 people. In 2020, that number is estimated to be down near 6. So they cut it by about a third. But here's where perception comes in. 56% of the American public believe violent crime is higher now than it was in the 1990s, which is factually incorrect. It's one thing to tackle violent crime, right? It's another thing to tackle the perception of violent crime. So how do we go about doing that, and how does that happen?
Well, perception is reality. If we go back to the 90s, we also have to keep in mind, Michael, we didn't have the access to social media that we did to get news out as quickly and frequently as we did. So we see much more of that now. Even though the numbers may indicate being higher back in the 90s, it does come back down to perception. But in addition to that, you ask someone who's been robbed or violated, they will tell you that those statistics mean absolutely nothing to them. The other thing we have to be concerned with, these spikes that we're seeing here just prior to the pandemic and post the pandemic certainly don't rise to the level they did to the 90s, but they're relevant to the world that we live in today. People see that more of a threat. In their real lives, certainly a lot more, because it's able to be captured, it's able to be played over and over again, and we have to attend to the numbers, because what we don't want to happen here, Michael, is the fact these trends that we're seeing turn into statistics that we don't want to be long-standing. So these spikes, we don't want to turn into trends, is actually what I'm saying here.
Sam, I want to play for you something President Biden said last night at the CNN town hall.
What we have to do is we have to deal with the larger problem of the whole issue of law enforcement generally. We're in a situation where, as much as we need to pass the Floyd Act and all that, but here's the deal. Cops are having real trouble. They're not all bad guys. There are a lot of good guys. We need more policemen, not fewer policemen, but we need them involved in community policing. So it's about we have availability now of over lots of money for cops to be able to hire psychologists, psychiatrists, as well as social workers to be engaged in the process.
So, Sam, to Cedric's point, we know Republicans are going to use the perception of crime as a tool in the lead up to the 2022 election, just as they did in 16, 18, 20, right? But now you have the president also feeling the tension with the folks who want to defund the police. Now, do you think he's got the right approach here in what you've heard?
Well, yeah, I do. And the reason I say that is because this is the position he took during the 2020 campaign when there were an immense amount of pressure points on him to go further and call for removing funding levels from the police or diverting police resources. His campaign platform actually called for enhancing money to police departments. So Biden has gone against the grain a little bit from within his own party. Also, we have to understand, Biden has a history on this issue. He was up front and out front in the late 80s, early 90s in urging Democrats to combat head on this perception that they were a party that was weak on crime. That led him to author the 1994 crime bill, which put, hundreds and thousands of cops on the street, in addition to a whole host of different other mechanisms for reducing crime levels. So, that's his background. Now, the question is, I guess, going forward is, can that legislative, can that molding of legislative initiatives pass muster here? Can you say, yeah, I want to throw money at cops, but I also want to enhance the ability of cops to perform various social functions? I don't know where the political coalition is there, because this Floyd policing bill is stuck. We don't know if they're going to have a breakthrough. They said they need till the end of August, but there are some serious problems that some serious hurdles that they can't get overcome yet. So we'll see if there's the political juice behind it.